sure.
Okay, Lara, thank you so much for having this interview with us with Growth Hacking School. This is a bunch of interviews that we are doing with growth experts around the world.
Mhm.
Lara D'Argento has no interest in vanity metrics and has a hybrid background in art and technology. Lara is an Italian growth mentor who works in Europe and in the Middle East.
Mhm.
Lara, your background comes from arts and cultural management, but how
Mhm.
did you migrate to growth hacking? Can you just give us like a full setup of everything?
Sure, Pedro. Well, first of all, thanks for inviting me. I'm really happy to have the possibility to share some views about my journey in growth. I did not. I never planned to do growth hacking in my life. Um, about education, yes, I have a master's degree in Paris, France, about cultural management, and then I have a master's degree in University of Bologna, Italy, about in political sciences. And then things and stuff happened, and I moved to Berlin, and I started working in the Berlin startup scene. I was doing business development, and when I learned actually that when you are in a startup, and when you in a startup are in charge of new market strategies, which means that you are the person in charge of making a new market, you gotta do everything on your own. So you're both in charge of pre-sales, of sales, and after sales, and customer service, and blah blah blah. And at the time, I found that this growth hacking approach was the right one for me to do my job, basically.
Mhm.
So that's how I started. I was doing growth hacking without knowing that I was doing growth hacking. So then I first learned about growth hacking thanks to a couple of Italian authors. So I learned in Italian actually about growth hacking, and then I thought, oh yeah, that's actually my job. That's me. And then I decided to know more. And in the meantime, I left Berlin and I moved back to my hometown, Bari. I'm talking from home right now. And then I said, okay, you know what? Now I want to work as a growth hacker. I want to do growth hacking. And so I started from scratch, as I think each one of us. So I started organizing free meetups about growth hacking in order to explain what growth hacking was about and why growth hacking was important. Because I thought, okay, if I am good into explaining this, then people will get the value out of this marketing approach. And then when they will look for somebody to do growth hacking, they will find me. So that actually was my funnel, and it worked out pretty much. I started working for a company, and then I actually exactly last year it was in February, February 2020. I say I need actually to make a shift, and I want to work on my own.
Mhm.
So I officially became a consultant, and again things and stuff happened, and everything happened at the right moment. So I started working as a growth hacking mentor in incubator for startups, first in Italy, then within a European project, and then again in France, and next one will be in Bahrain in the Middle East. So
Congratulations.
that's my journey. Of course I work right now remotely from home, from Bari.
Okay, congratulations for going to abroad and expanding your knowledge. Um, going back to the beginning, so you started in Berlin, and I can see that you
Mhm.
are quite traveled, and that's interesting.
Yes.
And you started to realize that you were working as a growth hacker with growth tactics and stuff
Mhm.
without knowing the name or the household name
Mhm.
of growth hacking. Um, but what were you doing at the time? So what was like the market that you were operating? And this is quite interesting because most of the growth hackers that I know, they all tell me the same story that I was doing growth hacking without knowing it. And it's quite interesting because they all operated in different markets.
Well, it was, if you consider that it was 2012 when I moved to Berlin. And so, yes, growth hacking, I mean, Sean Ellis wrote about growth hacking in 2010. So exactly 2 years before. So it took me a while actually to get close to this growth hacking, and this time actually this funnel was about the development of growth hacking also in Italian language, not because I couldn't actually understand English, because I was working in English and Spanish and French at the same time, also some German, but because I needed to, somebody to actually to go actually deeper into that. My job at the time, or let's say, I'll point out what is for me the most relevant job experience that I had in Berlin. I was working in a bid management company, that is a company that made and makes still nowadays a software about bid management, which is for your advertising on, at the time it was called Google AdWords, now it's Google Ads, and also Yandex. And I was in charge of every market outside Germany. And since I usually I say that I speak 4.5 languages, 0.5 is German. And then it was pretty fun for me to deal and to sign contracts with PPC agencies around the world. So it was I've never been a person, and I'm not interested in to be the one who has like 20, 30 years of job experience in the same company, because I am a multi-potentialite. And I was like, okay, but still it's very intense, because you consider that a huge PPC agency might have 50, 100, 200, and even more customers to your bid management tool. And you gotta look over each one of them. And you can have very, very different customers. Like, I don't know, I had a customer who was selling funerals online, and then another one was selling, of course, eau de parfum, and then another one like fire extinguisher. So it's like really a huge broad of customers and of needs. I remember was Pirelli, like they do campaigns twice per year. When you change, you know,
tires, right?
Exactly, tires for your car. So we have like seasonal customers, like yearly customers, and so on. And then was also the moment when I get really close to technology, in the sense of coding, algorithms, segmentation, and everything related to Google Analytics. So it's still one of the best job experience I've ever had. But then there was always a missing part for me, which was culture, museums and cultural projects that somehow I freezed in France. And after a while that I was in Germany, I said, I want my half back. And I thought, you know what, in order to make something that I can't really know how to do it, I need chaos. And Italy was the right match, especially the south of Italy was the right match to explore this chaos, because when you are into chaos, then everything might happen. That's the magic of chaos.
Yeah.
And exactly, and actually I was right, because coming back to Italy, then I had the opportunity both to do growth hacking as a first in companies and as a consultant, blah, blah, blah. And also getting deeper into getting back to my love for culture and museums.
Yeah, you need to create chaos to create then structure, right?
Well, I'm a Mediterranean woman, so in my case the answer is yes. Of course, I know other humans who are much more comfortable in different environments. It's totally fine. I just like, I didn't care about the others, but I know myself. And then I knew at the time I need chaos because I need to be free to think, free to create, actually. And actually coming back to my hometown, which was still my hometown, but then at the same time it was a town where I was missing from like 18 years. So I got no job, I got like no friends, because in the meantime all my friends are like around the planet Earth, and everything was new. But then I have my surfboard, and then it was actually the best course about fear management that I could ever had. So starting doing surf, I learned how not to be afraid of huge waves. I learned that like a big wave can also be a great and fun way of transportation.
That's quite interesting, and I never thought.
That's also
of
why
that
I like
analogy.
Portugal very much, actually. So
Yeah. And also, how is the growth hacking side of things in Italy? For example, I can relate with two countries. I've been in Amsterdam doing a growth hacking course at Growth Tribe, one of the best
yes,
growth hacking academies in the world, and Netherlands has a lot of agencies and companies working with growth hacking. And for example, in Portugal is the opposite. You don't have almost no one working in this market. We are probably one of the first guys exploring that in 2021. And you talked about Chanel is talking about growth hacking in 28, 29, and 2010. It's quite interesting this. So how is the growth hacking background in Italy? Do you have lots of people working in there, or not? It's like a sea of opportunities for you.
very good question. There is one agency they work specifically about growth hacking, so they do growth hacking. Other than that, there are many specialists doing growth hacking. I don't know if there are many or not. I pretty know each one of the crew, and it's pretty fun. Surely it's something that I've seen developing in the last, I would say, 3 years.
Yeah.
2020 has been surely a boost, actually, but because it was related to many topics like working remotely and being performance oriented instead of checking the number of hours you are sitting on a chair somewhere in some office, all this kind of, I would say, indirect topic that actually helps growth hacking to be, I would say, not more on under the spotlight, but better. Let's say under a better spotlight. Let's say. So actually, I worked a lot in 2020. I, of course, was. I mean, not everybody can say it, and I'm really aware about how privileged is my position. I'm sure that a new boost will be in 2021, so this year, and I'm also really optimistic about the new generations. So I see younger colleagues getting on the stage, and I'm really happy. I like them very much. I like their approach. So pretty optimistic about the future.
Yeah, thanks about that opinion, and I think I'm also pretty optimistic. So going now a little bit about what you're doing right now. So you are a growth mentor.
Yes.
I have a few questions on that also. But
Shoot.
the first question that I have is, what is the first thing that you look when you're analyzing a new business or startup that you're going to start mentoring? So what is like your process that you like to do with these businesses?
I usually work with early stage startups. So I focus on goals, and then I focus on the primary goal. And then I stress the importance of mindset. That is because usually I say that when early stage startups come to me, they are like elephants, and I usually tell them, you guys gotta leave this session as butterflies. So they're full of kind of vanity metrics, like I want to please that segment, I want to please that other segment, I want to do this, I want to do that, and my job is mainly to cut. That's actually my
to help them focus on their North Star metric.
Yes,
right?
exactly. In order to do that, usually I say that the mentor number one about growth hacking for me is the Cheshire cat in Alice in Wonderland. So when Alice in Wonderland, she feels kind of lost in the woods, and then she meets this cat, and she asks, which way should I take it? And then the cat says, it depends where you want to go. That's my job. So I ask, where do you want to go? What is your goal? What's your purpose? Yeah. And then starting from this point, then I use reverse engineering to start from the end and go backwards to say, okay, then if you want this, then we gotta start from the end and explore every piece of the puzzle that will lead to that goal.
Yeah, that's the same as we do here, and I totally agree. So we just focus on one objective at a time, and we just reverse engineer from there. I think that's really clever, and I bet all of the business that work with you really know what they're doing right now. And what do you consider to be the number one rule to learn about growth hacking? So this is more related with the people are also starting to learn a little bit more on this market. As a growth mentor, I kind of want to know, and I'm really keen to know your answer, because I bet that you have lots of people, especially on the free meetups that you start doing to create more community and stuff like that, that were asking this. So where do you tell people to start, and what do they should start learning?
The long story short, to hug black swans. So to accept and go get actually black swans, which is everything that happens in life that we didn't schedule, we didn't plan. Everything that happens as life happens, and not so kindly asks you to edit the business plan you just had on your desk. That is growth hacking. If you want to do growth hacking and then you want to stay relaxed and never change, I'm sorry, but you totally miss the point, because it's normal to get into a room to talk to your team, to discuss your test results, and to make a pivot, so to change direction, because you're not going anyway this way. And if you're not ready to make this your life, there is no space for growth hacking in you.
Yeah. Well, there is a quote I really like to say, that is, success is going from failure to failure without losing your enthusiasm. And it was Abraham Lincoln that said this. And I think that pretty much sums up what hugging black swans is. So yeah, I'm in the same road and path as you.
I
So
work very much. I think each one of us, I think every growth mentor works, underlines, stresses, emphasizes the importance of look at failure as part of success, not as the opposite of success. For me, failure and success are phases, of the same process. So usually I see behind your back, there is a lamp.
yeah.
And usually I quote Alessandro Volta, who invented the lamp, and he said, in my life, I did not find a way to build a lamp. I found 99 ways about how not to build the lamp. And then the attempt number 100 was the one that scaled up. But it was like the daughter of the sun, as you wish to see it, of those 99 failed attempts. So, and you know, it's that is very that is crucial actually in growth hacking, because if you expect to experiment something and then I'm gonna scale up, that's rocket scientist, it's not gonna work. And you surely a persistence is a key element. That's why I'm very happy to talk again about the importance of passion, because it's gonna be a stressful job. You are gonna have no free days, no Sundays, no weekends. You're gonna devote yourself to a huge number of extra hours, and unless if you really want to succeed, of course you're gonna churn. Actually, you're gonna leave. So be sure that you want to build something you believe in, because also you gotta be able to pass this enthusiasm and this passion to your work colleagues, because I strongly believe that projects are carried by persons. It's not the opposite way around. So if you are missing persons, if you are missing empathy, for example, if you don't stress the importance of sharing empathy in a team, and the team will explode. You will stay alone, and no matter how brilliant is your idea or your project, it's not gonna happen. So first persons, then projects. I'm strongly against everything that is related to a workaholic approach, because yes, it requires lots of hours, but nope, you don't have to become a workaholic to do this life. It's still possible. That's why I always remind my mentees that power is nothing without control. Which is something very growth hacking, because it's data driven, but it's also very important for the persons again that are going to use this data.
Yeah, to establish a process that will help you to overcome these issues and not make you like a workaholic, right? Give you more and more time to think in other solutions. So Lara, just the final question is, if you could share one tip that will help for future growth hackers, what will it be? So what is the one tip that you give to our audience?
Study, guys. Before starting with my free meetups, I studied on contents produced by the two Italian authors that share the most about growth hacking. I studied a lot about the methodology, and then only after that I kind of, I made this methodology mine. Then I started to say, okay, now the study time is not over, but gotta practice that, because it's like when you learn a language. It's okay to study grammar. You need to go to study grammar. It's important for your structure. I mean, I got 2 master's degrees, so of course I find that studying is a value in life. But then after a while, you gotta speak. You gotta go to the supermarket and or to the grocery shop and buy things and face one of the worst enemy, which is the person at the cash counter
Register,
of the
yeah.
supermarket, the grocery store, the register, exactly. And you know, facing that very anxious moment of she or he saying something about numbers, and then you gotta think, okay, which number is that? And then you gotta calculate also like a change. And then that I remember it as one of the most frightening moments into learning languages, but still, it was something that really, really helped me to be quick, and above all, not to be afraid. You can't want, it can't be that you want growth hacking or that you like growth hacking if you're afraid, because growth hacking is about testing. And testing means you are going to do an experiment about something that you don't know, and you don't know what's going to happen. And only if you have been a rookie so many times in your life, you can face it and you can manage the fear of the unexpected, which is like in surf.
Mhm.
But if you are afraid of trying new things, if you're afraid of waiting for results, of that moment at the register at the grocery shop, this is not gonna work. So study and practice. You need both things at the same time. Also, because growth hacking is a process, so it's never ending. I mean, once you get into the loop, it seems very hard to me that you can like leave growth hacking to your job, because personally, I also like use growth hacking in I don't know, in my life. Like I never started to start learning new stuff, which is not related to, you know, to job or saying yes to new challenges and things like. So it really is something that changes your life, I will say positively. So I'm very happy that I started doing growth hacking, because I'm a better human right now, and that's my suggestion to you.
Thank you so much for your suggestion. So, Lara, if people want to connect with you, where should they find you, and where do you find more suitable to create some networking with you? And before your answer, I just want to say that I met you at Clubhouse, and it was an amazing experience because we were in a growth hacking room, and you are one of the first persons that I've connected with at Clubhouse, and that developed to this interview. So that's quite interesting also.
Clubhouse is really new. So let me tell you something. Like the voice is the detail that I look at in a person. So it's very important for me. Regardless, I don't like the fact that I kind of jump into a very crowded room where there is no order. I think it's my German side about. So actually I use it very rarely, but then I saw that like grow with the pros, and come on, there were so many like names that were like in my opinion were really worthy to listen to. So I said, yeah, sure, I'll put it on my calendar and I'll jump in. And it was funny because actually I was listening to for a very long time during that conversation. And then I talked and I say something, of course, knowing myself, about museums. And then I thought, oh, geez, like I say something totally wrong, because then I heard nothing than silence. And then I thought, geez, I get such like, oh, like, no way. And that's a lesson, guys, for you all. I was wrong. The silence was not because I was telling something improper or like not interesting. The silence was because actually it was the opposite way around. Kind of, I caught the attention, or I say something that was
Made people
valuable,
think.
minimal things that, or at least meaningful enough to be looked for, to be searched the day after on LinkedIn, like, hey, Lara, we really like your intervention. And so never, ever be afraid of say what you want, what really matters to you. In my case, it was talking about growth hacking and the cultural and creative industries / museums. And again, as you did it, Pedro, LinkedIn. So it's something that I've been that I started actually caring, seriously caring about since last year. My LinkedIn profile is open on purpose to everybody, so everybody can write, well, most of the times in Italian, sometimes in English, it really depends, can look for my contents and ask me a contact. It's a social, so I don't get those who say, oh yeah, but no, I just like you know, I need to put an email or something. So yes, usually but I think it's just polite to write a couple of lines about introduction, like, hey, this is me and this is why I'd like to add you. But other than that, I'm really open to feedback and discussion there. So LinkedIn is definitely the best way to find me and to engage with me.
Okay, thank you so much, Lara. People,
Obrigada.
you can find you can find all of the Lara. You can find everything in the description. Her LinkedIn is there, and I should recommend to follow her. She shares lots of valuable content. Thank you once again.
Thank you very much, Pedro. Grazie.